Welcome to Optimal Timelines. My name is Sean, and this is going to be your monthly Tarotscope reading for July 2023 for your North Node by sign and house. Now, if you're new to my channel, the reason I use the North Node in readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign is that it's recognized in astrology that your North Node is your North Star. It's your soul path. It's what you're here to learn and experience in this lifetime. So it's much more relevant to your life than your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign. In addition, you have much more in common with those that share your North Node as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. Now, this is a big month this month because the collective North Node is changing from North Node in Taurus, South Node Scorpio into North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, and that's going to take place on July 17th. So the whole collective, this affects everybody, and there are going to be some separate videos that I'm going to shoot out the middle of this month that's going to cover what each North Node is learning for this particular nodal shift that's going to take place on July 17th. But for now, this is going to be your monthly Tarotscope reading. While I'm shuffling, I want to invite you to take some deep breaths, relax, close your eyes if you wish, and open up your heart and mind to any information that could be relevant to you. So I'm going to connect to the energies and then we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides and my guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, so this is going to be the monthly Tarotscope reading for July 2023 for everybody with their North Node in Aries and or the first house. Okay, so the spread on this side of the table represents the first half of the month from the 1st to the 15th, and this side represents the second half of the month from the 16th on. Now, obviously, other things besides what I'm going to cover are going to go on in your lifetime, but these are two of the major things for each of the 2 weeks that are going to be kind of major themes for you in your kind of learning and, on your soul path for your North Node. Now, your overall theme card is the Four of Swords. And what I got for this is what jumped out at me is, remember, your North Node being in Aries, the collective North Node on July 17th is moving into Aries. So whenever the collective North Node moves into your own personal North Node from your birth chart, like is what's going to happen if you're watching this video, it's like a graduation period. It's kind of like kind of see, where are you at? What have you learned? How are you doing on your soul path? So it's always a big graduation. For example, a few years ago, I went through my North Node graduation when it went into Cancer. Okay, and so that was like kind of my kind of graduation. But it's just kind of checking in and seeing where you're at. Now, when this card popped up, the Four of Swords, this is a card of meditation, of repose, of inaction, but active inaction. Okay, it's kind of like meditation. Like there's not doing anything, but there's also an active non-action. But what I'm getting with this is that what you're going to learn this month, the big lessons in moving forward, is when to act and when not to act, when to respond and when not to respond, and it's basically a use of energy and a use of the will. Sometimes there's a time when you have to use more of your action and your will, which is the case a lot of times with people with their North Node in Aries. because of their South Node in Libra. And sometimes there's a time to hold back. It's this balance, okay? Now, the first half of the month, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a lot of things that have to do with money, finances, also things that have to do with job or what you do for a living. And that's even if you are not working at a job, or obviously if you are a stay-at-home parent, that is the biggest job of all. It's working. It's whatever you do. If you have a home-based business, if you are a parent, or you work for a job, or all of the above, I'm seeing some things regarding that. And I'm seeing some things that, with this, your timeline cards are the reversed Ace of Pentacles, you've got the reversed Two of Wands, and you've got the reversed Eight of Pentacles. So, there could be some challenges, some obstacles, and things that have to do with work, finances, money, raises, anything to do with, income, things like that. But with that Two of Wands, what I'm getting also is it's kind of like um, plans, or it's either like a lack of future plans or planning, or maybe plans maybe don't seem like they're panning out like you thought they would, or something like that. Here's the advice. You have your two advice cards are the Ten of Swords reversed, and you've got the Strength card reversed. And what I'm seeing for you, and what's tying into this whole thing about action and inaction, is some of you may be where you're at in life because of your South Node being in Libra, of not acting when you should. What do I mean by acting? That means like it could be like setting boundaries or taking initiative, because the natural inclination and the natural skill set of Libra is getting along, keeping the status quo, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing because it is a gift you have, being able to smooth things over and work with people and be understanding. But remember, our North Node is what we're here to learn. So many of you may need to, in order to change this timeline, it may require some action on your part. That may mean setting boundaries, setting people straight in your life, taking initiative, asking for that raise, or maybe if you are not in a situation, making those dreams or plans and desires, maybe taking action on those, or going in and asking for that raise, or something like that. But what I'm seeing is the reason that this is happening, and the reason that this Ten of Swords is reversed, is many of you may be watching this and you're like, I'm like fed up. I'm fed up with the way things are going and the way, maybe things are transpiring in my life, and you want change. And I see that the change is on the horizon. You're kind of like, a lot of you are just like, okay, I'm ready for whatever this is to be done. And the Strength card reverse is interesting because it's funny. I was thinking about this card earlier. A lot of times I meditate on various tarot cards. The Strength card is a lot of times very misunderstood, because what we think of as strength is, we think of it in the way of like aggression or assertiveness, or like someone overpowering somebody. We see strength, whatever gender you are, whatever, male, female, whatever gender you are, we tend to, as this society, because it tends to be a more patriarchal society, tend to view strength in a way of like, I'm going to get them, I'm going to overpower them, I'm going to get my way, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But really what this card is showing is the maiden in this card is subduing the lion, the wild beast, not through force, but through understanding and kindness. Okay, so that is your gift. Your gift of your South Node is understanding and kindness. But what happens is, this maiden is taking action and initiative. She's not just saying, oh, I love you, lion, love and light, I'm sending it to you. She's actually going in there and she's taking action, but she's keeping her softness and her wonderful, you know, soft side, okay, but she's taking action. And so what I'm seeing is a lot of you may need to start to embody the Aries energy, okay? And what is that energy? It is becoming ultimately, yes, it is warrior energy, but it's the enlightened warrior. It's the spiritual warrior. It's someone that, yeah, there's time when we have to kick butt in life. Okay, it's just a fact. And it can be very unpleasant, but there's a time, and what I mean by that is like there's a time where for that energy, okay, it's just the way this world works. But it doesn't mean you have to go overboard and be like, and that's again, this is like learning when to act and when not to act, and in what quantities and what ratios, okay? This is about learning that. So some of you may be learning this and you may be going overboard. I don't feel a lot of you are like that, but when we start to follow our north node, sometimes we get a taste of it. And like, in other words, we're starting to like set boundaries and, you know, get our way and initiate our north node, which in your case is Aries or the first house, right? And we can go overboard. And so this is where you have to bring it back a little bit, okay? But I think for a lot of you watching this, it's really embodying that, which means that, someone says something to you, or you have to go in there and have a difficult conversation or a confrontation, or you have to assert yourself in some way. It doesn't feel good. I get it for your South Node in Libra. That's you're a peacemaker by nature. But this is what it's calling you to do. And what I want you to think about for this 2 weeks is, where are there opportunities for you to embody your North Node in Aries of the first house? Okay. And if you don't know what that means, I have some videos on my channel. Research North Node in Aries, North Node in the first house. But you have to embody that. And when you do that, that is when you're going to start to see things in your life, changing. They're not going to change by doing kind of the same old thing. So whatever's happening this first half of July is getting you to kind of finally, see that. And I feel like a lot of you are like, okay, I want change. So this is what you're learning to do, is kind of embody this more assertive Aries energy. Now, moving on to the second half of the month, your timeline cards are the Judgment reversed, you have the Knight of Cups reversed, and you've got the Star reversed. Now, the Star card, as I always say, it's one of the tarot cards like the Sun card that is also positive in its reversed state, but it's like a blocked or subdued energy. But a little bit of action and effort can turn that star around. And I feel like a lot of you are close. What the Judgment card reversed is, okay, is the Judgment card is a call to action. It's the universe has been trying to get a lot of your attention by getting you to, you might have faced like the past year or two opportunities, or you've had to confront people in difficult situations, and you're like, it's putting you in uncomfortable situations, but it's because the universe is trying to get your attention. And maybe, some of you, haven't gotten the message, because you might be falling back on, with our South Node, we fall back on it because it's our comfort zone. It's like, I'm going to go back to what worked for me in the past or in past lives. But in this lifetime, our South Node doesn't work for us fully. If we can only use it like a superpower in very small quantities, as long as we're moving toward the North Node. So what I'm seeing here for the second half of the month is there's going to be something to where, with this reversed Knight of Cups, I feel like there could be some sort of an emotional hit on you that's going to hit you in some way. And it's going to call you to do something. Okay. For each of you watching this, it's going to be something different. I'll give you a couple examples, but across the board, it's going to be simply something is going to affect you emotionally, and the universe wants you to respond and react in a certain way, and not in the way of, oh well, like let me give an example. Well, he said that to me, but he was just, had a bad day at work, and I know that wasn't very nice, but blah blah. Like that's very Libra, like making excuses, or this, the situation is like this because of, and just kind of keeping the peace, keeping status quo. This is causing you to act. Now, what action should you take? Obviously, I don't know what individual action you should take, okay? But what I do know is it's going to involve the energy of Aries, okay? And it's going to, for a small portion of you, it may be that if you are overusing Aries energy, it might be telling you, okay, don't like come, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Don't come at someone for a small infraction and go nuclear on them or whatever. So that's going to be, it's going to be, like I said, but for the majority of you, it's going to be like for a small minority of you, it's going to be to kind of be more, take things easy. But for the vast majority of you, I feel it's going to be like, okay, you have to take some action. What does that mean? It means like saying like a confrontation, like, you know what, like I don't want to be treated that way, or I don't think this situation is fair. And you could say it in a nice way, but you how you respond is going to be based on, um, what the situation is. Let me be perfectly honest and frank with you. Okay, when you have a south node in Libra, this is one of the south nodes that has to do with, people can attract abusive people into their lives. Okay. Um, and yeah, it's kind of dark. Okay. That not for everybody, but it could be, it's because life is telling you like, it's time to stand up for yourself. It's time to like not put up with this anymore. Okay. So, for different people that have this, south node, it could be where you have to say like, no, I'm not going to be treated like this anymore. Whether it be, physical, emotional, mental abuse, or whatever it is. But it could be a boss, it could be a relationship, it could just be, like life in general. But the second half is getting you to, if your heart has been hurt by a situation or a person or people, you must take Aries action. Now, your advice cards are the High Priestess reversed and the World card reversed. This also is one of the cards, like the Star and the Sun, that is also positive reversed, meaning that a lot of you are very close to graduation. It won't take much effort to turn the Star card upright or the World card upright. You're very, very close. Most of you are. And that's why this is a graduation period. What does the High Priestess mean? The High Priestess is someone that is comfortable in their own power. She is not someone who is using physical force to get her way or extreme aggression. She's using her intelligence. She's using her emotions. She's using her intuition. But the fact is that she is taking action. The big thing about this card is it's got the two pillars, the black pillar and the white pillar, which refer to polarities, which refer to life isn't always the white pillar and life always isn't the black pillar. But when the black pillar comes up, when we have to take actions in a certain way. When the white pillar comes up, we have to take actions in a certain way. Okay, it's about the polarities, and she is comfortable in working in the full polarity, not just being soft, sweet, and kind, um, but and not just being aggressive and assertive and overpowering. It's a balance. Okay, and that's what you're learning. So whatever the second half of the month brings you, remember, there could be like an emotional hit. Even if it's a small thing, and you may have to tell a person, like they say something. I'll give you another small example because I gave you some big ones. Let's say it's a small example. If someone says something that's hurtful, And you might say, like, instead of just saying, oh yeah, okay, whatever, saying, if it, that really wasn't nice. I didn't care that you said that. And I would appreciate if you would have the courtesy to respect me and respect my feelings. And it doesn't matter how they react because they have their own free will. Some people will say, oh, wow, gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Like, you're right. I'm sorry. Other people will have an ego about it and say, okay, whatever. You can't control how they react. All you can control is how you respond and how you act and react. And by you taking that action, it doesn't matter if they understand or not. If they don't understand, what they're doing is they're telling you that they don't really have your back. If you tell someone out of the sincerity of your heart, but firmly, I don't appreciate you did that to me or you said that to me, and they blow you off, well, that tells you everything you have to know. I mean, and the dark side of Libra would make excuses like, well, he's just or she's just having a bad day or whatever it is, whatever the case may be, you know, that is what this is getting you to understand, is that it doesn't matter how they react. But if they do react poorly to you, take that information in. Why? Because one of your gifts is the north node or the south node in Libra is the scales. You're balancing things out. You're saying, that really wasn't a good response. I don't think that person really has my back. And you might not, necessarily cut that relationship out, but at least make a note of it and say, okay, well, that's a big red flag. And then know that, but take that into consideration. Okay. So yeah, look, this is a big, big time for you. The next 18 months, starting from July 17th, this is your graduation period. There's going to be a lot of themes, but here's the good news. I feel like so many of you are so close with the star reversed and the world reversed, so close to turning this around. Just take that action. Remember one thing from all of this. You might want to review this whole video, okay, at some time. But remember, research what it means to have North Node in Aries or North Node in the first house. That will give you what you need to move forward in these situations. And if you make steps toward that, trust me, you will not go wrong, okay? So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you could, please hit that like button. It takes a second, but it helps my algorithms, and I would really appreciate it. So it helps the channel. Please reach out to me in the comments if you would have any questions. I love to interact with you there, or just say hi, and if you enjoyed the reading or not. And then if you would like a personal reading, there's a link to my website in the description box below, and we can give you some more information on that. And I can give you some more direct information on your personal soul path. So thank you for watching. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings.